They did a very famous experiment where they had two groups of people. In the first group, they told these people that if they were to complete a certain task, they would get a $2 reward. The second group, they said that if they were to complete that very same task, they would get a 50% chance of getting a $1 reward and a 50% chance of getting a $2 reward. Guess what the results were from that experiment? The completion rate of that task for the first group of a stable $2 reward were 40%. For that second group of the 50% $1, 50% $2 reward, the completion rate of that task was 70%. And the lesson that was derived from this experiment is the power of uncertain rewards. When an uncertain reward is injected somewhere during the marketing process, it creates greater customer engagement. It creates a sense of thrill where people want to find out if they are part of the lucky winner where they get the $2 reward versus the $1 reward. And it creates more motivation and makes people more willing to engage in effort versus a stable $2 reward. So in today's video, what we're going to be looking at is the power of uncertain rewards. And we're going to be studying a couple examples of big Web2 brands that have used the power of uncertain rewards within their marketing. And how can we as Web3 builders and Web3 marketers use uncertain rewards to drive greater engagement and more profit from the customers and community members that are part of our ecosystem. Now, if this is the first time we meet, my name is Lian Aboud, and I've had the opportunity to work with over 120 of the top Web3 brands that have generated over $40 million in both NFT mints and token launches. And through the process, I myself at Unfungible have managed to build a business to over 7 figures per year. For as we've seen so far, uncertain rewards have the ability to create greater customer engagement and greater motivation to get them to complete the tasks that we want them to complete. And this has been actually a strategy very well utilized and well understood in the Web2 marketing space. For example, back in 2018, Starbucks rolled out a program called Starbucks for Life, where if customers were to complete certain tasks within the Starbucks application, they had a chance of earning free coffee. They had a chance of earning, at the very extreme, to getting free coffee for a year or for life. And just from this one campaign in 2018, Starbucks saw a 4% increase in sales at the stores that were rolling out that specific program. Another example of a brand using uncertain rewards is Nike and Fuel Band. Fuel Band, they had a wearable fitness tracker that encouraged users to be more active. And the more active a user would be, the more chances they had at unlocking new rewards and unlocking special offers, special discounts, special products from Nike. And this one campaign increased average daily users within the Fuel Band application by 40%. All this through the gamification element that came from the uncertain reward. When it comes to the advertising B2B space, here's how Google AdWords used it in their advertisement platform. Back in the days, Google were trying to attract more small to medium-sized businesses to advertise on Google and to show them that Google is a great marketing platform for their needs. So what they did is they encouraged users by giving them random amounts of credits with Google AdWords if they were to be spending a certain amount. So the amount of credits that they would get was not set. It was randomized. There was that mystery element. And through that one campaign, Google reported a 30% increase in the number of small to medium-sized businesses advertising on Google. A final example that I have is when I moved to Canada back in 2015, there's this very famous coffee shop franchise called Tim Hortons that every season they ran a campaign where every time you were to buy a coffee or a tea, around the lid of the coffee cup, to-go coffee cup, you could roll out that lid and all of a sudden there would be a potential reward that you would gain. So most of the time you would roll it out and it would be like, oh, try again later, or try again, play again. But then sometimes you would get a free coffee or sometimes a free sandwich. Sometimes there were the chances of you winning a free car from Tim Hortons. And this is an example how, for me, having experienced this for the very first time I rolled this out, I was like, oh, interesting. And this subconsciously, before even starting to understand this marketing phenomenon, I started becoming more engaged as a customer at Tim Hortons. I started shifting my consumer behavior a little bit more to Tim Hortons. If there was a Tim Hortons around the corner versus another coffee shop, I would be more likely to pick Tim Hortons just because of that element. So this is one example of how coffee shop franchise, B2B businesses were able to use uncertain rewards to drive customer engagement and increase the bottom line, which is profit and revenue. Now, when it comes to the Web3 space, there's a reason why at its core, NFTs have such a gamified element injected into them. It is the reason why we've seen people grind hours, grind days, spend thousands of dollars engaging in campaigns, engaging in ecosystems, and buying NFTs. Because NFTs within themselves have that uncertain reward injected into them. For example, what is a big part of NFTs, and that is one of the things that people anticipate the most upon reveal of the NFT, is the rarity element. Am I gonna get a common NFT like everyone else that is valued at floor, or am I gonna get a grail? Am I gonna get an NFT that is in the top 1% that I can all of a sudden sell for 10x the price that the average NFT is selling for? Rarity revealing is a form of uncertain reward. Rarity is, by design, a form of uncertain reward. And it is one of the reasons why we see so much strong community conviction built around brands, especially before the launch. This is when people are most excited. Peak attention on a project is when reveal happens, because of that specific element. What am I going to get? Am I going to get a rare? Am I going to get a common? What is going to be the open price of the NFTs in general? Is the market going to price them at $100, $1,000, $2,000, $10,000? And this, by nature, make NFTs a superpower tool when it comes to creating customer engagement. Now, beyond rarity, there are more use cases on how we as Web3 marketers can use uncertain rewards within our ecosystem. And something I see that is very common, and this is often done out of goodwill by a lot of NFT founders, is they try to remove the uncertain element because they want to offer their customers what they're buying into. In Web2, we're all very used to it. When you shop on Amazon and you buy a certain type of accessory, you expect that accessory to show up at your doorstep. You don't expect something different. So out of goodwill, a lot of Web2 founders often try to remove the uncertain element to give customers what they're buying into. I remember once I was having a conversation with a Web3 founder, and what they were building was they had one of these packs that you would open up, and it would open up 3 to 4 different NFTs. And one thing they were designing it towards is they had 2 different types of packs that people could buy on the website. They either had the common packs or the rare packs. And the rare packs obviously being priced at 2 to 3 times the price. Through that logic, all of a sudden you can realize how doing that strips away the uncertainty that comes with NFTs. I remember it was a UFC back in 2021 and 2022. They were rolling out the UFC packs, and they did it amazingly, where you would buy packs and it would literally tell you that you had a 90% chance of getting a common, 5% chance of getting a rare, and 5% chance of getting a grail, like a Conor McGregor or Khabib. And this right here is a great example on how you can still use uncertain rewards within the actual ecosystem. There's a couple examples that I have for you when it comes to how can we use uncertain rewards within the buyer journey of a Web3 customer. The goal with uncertain rewards is to inject them as part of the buyer journey. On their own, uncertain rewards do not stand on their own feet. They need to be part of a broader marketing journey. For example, Starbucks, we're trying to get more customers through the door at the stores. Nike, we're trying to get more people to use the Fuel Band application. Google AdWords, we're trying to attract new customers, new small to medium-sized businesses. And Tim Hortons, we're trying to increase the number of purchases per customer. So the goal for you within your ecosystem, the first question I would ask myself is, what is the objective? What is the conversion objective? Am I trying to attract more customers within my Discord community? Am I trying to convert more gamers within my game? Am I trying to get more users within my ecosystem? Am I trying to increase the volume on my chain? Which of these conversion events are you trying to optimize for? And how can you, along the buyer journey, when you map it out, where can you inject that uncertain reward that is going to get people to take more action and increase their motivation alongside the process? We've seen Blast Gold do this incredibly well. And Blast is the L2 chain of Blur. And when it comes to marketing, Blast did an incredible job. They did a fantastic job because they used uncertain rewards to the best, because they are a prime example of how to use uncertain rewards within their ecosystem. The goal was, as they were launching, as the airdrop campaign was going, their main goal was, how do we get more users not only on Blast, but also on the ecosystem dApps, decentralized applications that were built on Blast. And what they came up with was with the innovative concept of Blast Gold, which were pretty much coins that when the airdrop were to be live, they would be worth a certain amount. But people didn't know what they would be worth. When you were to engage with different, whether it was applications like Fantasy Top or engaging within the Blur ecosystem, just you engaging within the applications being built on top of Blast got you Blast Gold points. And I remember ahead of the airdrop of Blast, ahead of the TGE token generation event of Blast, people on the timeline were all speculating what was going to be the value of Blast Gold. What was going to be the open value? Some people were saying $5. Some people were bearish and were saying $3. Other people were super bullish and it was going to be $12. So all of a sudden, as a Blast Gold holder, you were like, oh my God, I need more of this. Oh my God, this is going to be the best thing ever. I need to do more of the things I was doing. And that is a great example of uncertain rewards being used within ecosystems. Another example of uncertain rewards is staking. Staking is very common in both NFTs and tokens, where you stake your tokens. And what this does is it takes supply out of the marketplace. And sometimes, depending on the ecosystem, mechanism of staking, just like with Ethereum, that helps power the chain. That's why Ethereum now is proof of stake. So it is not uncommon for chains to want their holders to be staking their tokens, or for NFTs, NFT projects, to have their holders stake the NFTs to take supply out of the marketplace. One way to use uncertain rewards is, one way rewards are given out when people stake is by staking, they are earning a set amount of tokens every day. This is the common incentive for staking. What if, as part of that, just like Google, there was a chance that stakers were to gain a special reward every once in a while that was disproportionately higher than the typical staking? What if the more NFTs you stake, the more chances you were to earn the staking mechanism? This is an example on how to use uncertain rewards to incentivize customers to do an action that you want them to, which is staking their tokens or NFTs. Another example where you can use uncertain rewards to drive customer engagement, especially community engagement, is through community treasure hunts. Imagine you were to publish a post one day out of the blue of a quest starting on your X account. And then this quest would lead people down the rabbit hole of exploring your ecosystem, going on your website, going on your application, downloading your applications, joining your Discord, the actions you want them to take. And along the way, they were to find certain codes or certain QR. There was a QR code sitting there. And then they were to use that code on the website. And all of a sudden, it would allow them to unlock rewards and win free NFTs, win cash prizes, or win token prizes. This right here is an example on how uncertain rewards can be injected within a community activation strategy. And the final example that I have for you is achievement badges. I know this is one that Azuki pioneered. With Azuki, if you were to complete certain activities, if you were to attend, for example, I attended the Azuki New York meetup. And by just me attending, I got a badge on the website. You can go on the website, Azuki, verify your account, and then you can see your collector profile, they call it. And then you have different types of badges. And just me attending that NFT, that Azuki New York event, I received the badge. Some people, if they collect a family, they call it. So they have one Azuki, one kid elemental. Some elemental NFT kids, they earn a badge if they have a certain type of NFTs that they collect. If they have two NFTs. So the more you collect, they're incentivizing people to collect within the Azuki ecosystem. And one thing Azuki is going to do, and they've said it publicly, is when the anime token is going to be live, one of the ways they're going to distribute these tokens is through the badges, is through the collector profile ranking. And needless to say, the more you have achievements, the more badges you have, the higher your ranking. So collector profile ranking is going to be how airdrops are going to be allocated within the ecosystem. And this right here is a great example of how Azuki is using collector badges, achievements, to create more volume in the marketplace, create greater engagement, get people to show up to the events, get people to engage within the ecosystem. This right here is a great example. So the 4 Web3 native examples that we have is Blast Gold, using gold within the chain. We have staking rewards. We have community treasure hunts. And finally, we have achievement badges. Ladies and gentlemen, uncertain rewards, a superpower to utilize within your ecosystem, a superpower to utilize to drive greater customer engagement and to drive stronger loyalty and motivation within your community. My name is Leon Aboud, and it was a great pleasure sharing this time together. I shall see you in the very next video. Cheers.